There's something I need to add. Oh God, this is so difficult. In South Africa, um, my my mom was my entire life. She was my entire being, and she would have taken me when her marriage with my dad obviously was not going well or whatever. Um, I would have been the kid that um, she confided in, basically. So I was taken to marriage guidance counselling with her. I was taken to, we went and looked at houses that she was secretly going to buy without my dad's awareness. These were tiny houses where she would have said, like two or three bedroom houses. So like the main bedroom, she would have said, well, her and my younger sister would have slept in one, me would have slept in another one, and my older sister would have slept in the other bedroom. My sisters didn't know about this for years. It was basically, I think it was, Jesus, 10 years ago, maybe more, when I told my older sister about this. And it was her, she told me, when I explained all of this, that she then understood that, yeah, I had a completely different upbringing to her and my sister. I'll remember, I'm going to give you this as one example, because this is one that really gets me, because I don't understand how this ever came about. I was working for my neighbour, and we worked in a bank, and he had got me the job in the bank. So, and bear in mind, I loved my neighbours. That they were like my surrogate parents. I wouldn't probably have been here if without them, because instead of coming home every night and going, and staying in your bedroom or staying with your parents every night, I came home, ate my dinner, and went and lived in their house, whether they liked it or not. God help them. But they were amazing human beings, and they never judged me ever. Anyway, I've forgotten what I was trying to tell you. Oh yes, okay. It was one of the bank. It was a Christmas time, and obviously, companies with Christmas parties and da 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 da, and this. I think I was only about maybe 19, 20 years old. So obviously, I hadn't got my shit together, and I wanted to party like the rest of everybody else. So we had arranged that day that my mum would come and collect me. However, the party was going good, and Liz was having fun, and I phoned her and said, could you come and collect me a couple of hours later than normal? And she was like, no, I won't. And I was like, oh shit, really? And she was super mad at me. Now, this is going to sound like nothing to anybody who's listening to this with no backstory. So, You're gonna have to take my word on this. Um, I eventually, around, I think it was around 7ish, half 6, 7ish, I got a taxi home, and I got home and she charged down the stairs and she said to me, "You need to put the dinner on." Uh, and I was seriously confused. She had been upstairs. My sisters, two of them, were in their bedrooms, and yet nobody had started dinner. And I was like, really? Now, knowing that I normally do this, obviously, I I felt seriously guilty first of all, because I was like, oh my god, like everybody needs to be eat, have their dinner, and then I was like, but for a week she's known that I was doing this, and I might not have made it. Anyway, it was so confusing. So anyway, I had had a serious amount to drink, and I was very drunk. I will admit it. But I was told that I had to go and make stew, and everything was left out in the kitchen for me, and I had to go and put the stew on. So I went in and I browned the mince, and I can't remember, obviously I can't remember, but I can't remember exactly what I did next, but I think I put everything in that I should have put in. And I went and sat down in the living room and clearly passed out because I was super inebriated. And the next thing, oh dear Christ, and night I heard was her going completely nuts because the stew had burnt, and it was obviously my fault. And I'll never forget feeling so useless that I couldn't, have fixed this, and yet the fact there was 3 other human beings in the house who didn't seem to give a shit whether it had been done or not. It was like, no matter what I did, nothing was ever good enough. And that's really tough. Like, that was a really fucked up day. Like, really, there was another one I can give you. I always cut the grass, weeded the garden, planted flowers, did whatever, and I hurt my back. This was probably the first time that I hurt my back. This is how I ended up in this fucked up state. And I remember saying to my sister, please, could you go and, please cut the grass for me, because I just can't. I can't. It's too hurt. It hurts too much. Please, just please do it. And after much persuasion, she went and did it. And she did it. And you know the way, if you don't want somebody to ask you to do something ever again, you're going to do it horribly. Well, that's exactly what happened. And I remember being so pissed, thinking, I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. And you just knew that she didn't do it properly because she didn't want to do it properly. So as I would have to do it, and I would never have to ask her again. You would honestly think after so many years this wouldn't even be relevant. But you've no idea how this has destroyed my life. I lost my entire identity. I don't even know who I am anymore. I really don't know what to do. There are so many things that happened. All I want is somebody to tell me that I wasn't the one who created these stories. This isn't how you're supposed to grow up. Sorry.